Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for this live demonstration of UnifyAI, an enterprise-grade GenAI platform. Uh, Today, what we are going to do in this session is we are going to take you through the demonstration, how you can leverage UnifyAI platform to build your AI ML use cases end-to-end, right from data integration till entire stages of AI cycle and getting into the production. But before that, little bit, I would like to set the context here. Today, it's no more a question for any enterprises whether to adopt AI or not, but more it's like, how fast they can adopt AI, but in a scalable and predictable manner. And while doing this, there are some barriers what enterprises are facing, and they are talking to us as well. And those are like they have to go through various stages in fragmented way to stitch this entire journey to go into the production. So the barrier, like, various skill sets, too many moving parts in terms of technology, and highly integrated manner so that they can get an CI/CD kind of, integration layer for getting their AI ML use cases into the production. And the real game starts from there once you are in production. These use cases, these models, they are expected to behave the way it is, designed to be. So it is very important that this entire journey, what we define here as a classical approach, anyone who builds this goes through this classical approach, right from identifying the data sources, connecting the data sources, bringing those data for a particular use case, doing the data engineering part, preparing the data, preparing the features, going through feature engineering, storing the features, you writing the machine learning algorithm, probably 8, 10, 12 algorithms, identifying the right fit machine learning model to take forward. And then you plan and prepare to deploy the model through all its artifacts. Once the model is deployed, it starts consuming the features and starts giving the inferences. And the learning about the inferences should be coming as a feedback loop into the platform. And that is what UnifyAI brings to enterprises as a value add, that I can go and say to this extent that in a sitting, single sitting, you can start building end to end your AI lifecycle for building use cases and taking into the production. So there is a capability what we have in UnifyAI is auto AI approach, and this is a layered capability which actually helps you accelerating your journey. And today, for this demonstration perspective, for this demonstration purpose, we'll be leveraging this capability to show you a NPA use case, that is, non-performing asset use case, how you can build, how you can accelerate. And this acceleration happens at a various stages because we'll be leveraging auto ML capabilities, auto feature engineering, auto AI capabilities, and then probably your data science team can do further hyperparameter tuning, hyper customization, hyper personalization on top of those files, and they can align your entire use case to make it production ready. Also, what we are bringing into UnifyAI by the end of December, and which will be a layered capability offering, is GenAI. Here we are bringing GenAI in two distinct ways on the platform, which will augment with the classical approach. And one is we are giving power to the business user for self-service analytics, and that is where our SSH GPT would be there, where business user can actually, through prompt engineering, through chat, can upload their data, upload the files, and do the analytics for the data what they want to do for. And that is something will be incorporated into the platform. And today we'll try to show you a glimpse of that. And second, what we are integrating is UnifyAIGPT. And this, what it means is that it will enable data scientists and your technology team to actually, through prompt engineering, do an interactive way at each juncture of this classical approach in EDA, in machine learning model through Copilot for optimizing the code, and in an interactive way of feature engineering. So in a nutshell, this is how UnifyAI looks like, with the classical approach being a core of UnifyAI, where enterprises can end-to-end build their AI ML use cases, and they can go to the production, in a couple of weeks rather than 5 to 6 months through this approach, because today a lot of things are happening in fragmented way. Couple of key features which I would like to highlight here is you have a data integration toolkit, which you'll be demonstrating while doing demo, that you have connectors to bring the data from the data sources. You have a model repository where the model, what you build on this platform, UnifyAI platform, gets stored into the repository. Or if you have existing models, or if you are building externally, you can bring it into the repository and make it a part of this UnifyAI platform. Very important is single click model deployment. This actually orchestrate entire thing at the back end and give you the capability of clicking with a single click, deploying the model into the production. Model monitoring capability, because this is very important. Once your models are in production, they need to be monitored for any model or data drift and which parameter is causing drift. So to that extent, monitoring capability is integrated into the UnifyAI. And also it will help you in identifying the lineage till the data sources for which the inferences are, you are deriving the inferences. And very important, let me hide this here so that you can see probably. Okay, very important is self-service analytics, which is been addressed by SSA-GPT, where business user actually can get the analytics, through the business user interface and leveraging the GPT capability of GenAI. For this demo purpose, the environment is, this is on Azure. We have deployed this in Azure. We are using the public data for the data size up to 20 million rows. The demo setup environment have 3 nodes: data node, UnifyAI node, and model node. Wherein data node is generally sized for the data what you'll be using for building the use cases. Models are the model node will be hosting all the models and repositories, and UnifyAI will be hosting the core engine. And this will be the more or less standard architecture, and when we have to go for high availability, the architecture will be different. But for demo purpose, we have used this architecture. And very important point here is that, the sizing for data node and model node, that what you are paying for based on the data you are consuming and the kind of use cases you are building. So in this demonstration, we'll be showcasing how you can build end-to-end a particular use case. In this case, it is non-performing asset. So before we go to the demo, I would also like to, quickly showcase that what all things would be happening into this demo, at the back end. So we have used a public data, which is loan performance, borrower demographics, credit scores, and microeconomics indicators from, the available data sets from financial institutions. And this is where you will see that how this data is getting acquired. And the data processing will be also happening at the back end, where, we'll be identifying the missing values, outlier, all things what you go through the classical approach. In this demo, we will be executing all this step through our capability, which is integrated as an auto AI capability. But when we say auto AI capability, it is not meant for going directly to the production. It is a capability which is a layer on top of UnifyAI, which helps you accelerating your journey maybe up to 50 to 60%. And then you can work on top of that, to make it much more hyper personalized, or to make it hyper configurable and tuning the parameters to take it to the production. So all these steps will be executing, and you will be seeing that how efficiently you'll able to build the use cases leveraging UnifyAI capability. This is where I would say let's get to the platform. Let's log in into the platform of UnifyAI.
So you need to stop sharing. Yeah.
I've stopped the sharing. So yeah, can we share the platform?
Yes.
If actually only organization can share, I'm not able to share.
So will you able to share? Sure. Okay.
Share from this.
So we'll share from this laptop, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So there was a little bit, access layer issue on our laptop. But yeah, this is how UnifyAI would look like for you. And now we are logging into it through a data scientist persona. So once you log in into UnifyAI, you will be coming to this console screen. So the the cards, what you are seeing on this console are the cards, which are for the stages for your classical approach, like in data integration toolkit. This is where, you can actually go to this card and you can start integrating your data from the sources. There are multiple connectors over here. So that's a toolkit. And once the data comes on board with UnifyAI, it gets into the data store, data aggregator, which is at this point of time Postgres on UnifyAI. But you have choice of the data aggregator. If you already have an aggregator, you can externally connect it to the UnifyAI platform. And the third card will help you to get into the process of feature engineering and feature store. You'll be identifying the features and you'll be storing the features. So till model repository, this entire cards will help you into navigating through the classical approach process. What we'll be doing today for this demonstration is we'll be leveraging Auto AI capability, which is the sixth card over here, you can see. And through this, we'll accelerate the journey of classical approach to build the use case. So this is where I would hand it over to Pritesh, who is also my founding colleague and chief data scientist. And myself, I'm Sandeep Kuperkar. I'm CEO founder for Data Science Wizards. And along with me, Shivam is there, who is chief product officer and also from the founding team. So Pritesh, over to you, and you can take us through the demonstration and showcase that how efficiently we can build the use cases.
Sure, Sandeep, thank you. So let's get started with building the use case with Auto AI card. Yes. So the first thing over here is we will be naming the use case. Like for this demo purpose, we are working on the NPA. Sandeep has mentioned what the NPA use case is, so we can just keep the name over there. The second one is selecting the model type. Either the model type can be classification or regression. As this will be built by data scientists, they are aware like what is classification, what is regression. If this use case is getting built by the business users, this terminologies can be explained. Then we need to mention about the dependent variable, the variable which is important for the machine learning model using which it is going to predict whether the person is going to be an NPA or whether the person is going to be a non-NPA. And then the time is to select the features using which the machine learning model will be built. So as data is already being uploaded, you just need to select these features and just click on create use case. Yes. So the moment you click on create use case, the data is getting extracted from the databases and the data is getting converted into features. The features is getting stored into feature store. From the feature store, the data is getting extracted and given back to the machine learning, the MLOps pipeline, what we have there, we are making use of the auto ML capability, which is able to extract this data, build 8 to 10 different machine learning models, and finally select the best machine learning model which is suitable for that data, which is suitable for that particular use case, and being able to build that model end to end. And after building that, evaluating it with the different evaluation metrics which is available for that particular model or which is suitable for that particular model, and that will be displayed to the data scientist as well. Finally, the selected machine learning model will be deployed and will be available on UnifyAI platform for the further processing. So the entire process of registering the model, creating that machine learning model roughly takes around like 12 to 15 minutes. So considering the time, I will be showing you the same machine learning model, which was just created some time back on the same data. Yes. So once the machine learning model has been created, registered, and deployed, it will be displayed over here on the use case console, you can see it over here, the NPA. And as a data scientist, if you want to view what exactly the machine learning model has been built, just to have a small snapshot about it, to some kind of an understanding, to get the summary of that particular machine learning model, you can just click on that view button, and it can give you the view of the entire machine learning model that has been built. On the left hand side, what you see is the feature list using which the machine learning model was built. Like AutoML capability is smart enough to understand out of the given features, what are the important features using which the machine learning model will be built. So as a data scientist, you can see on the left hand side, what are the important features using which the model was built. In the model summary, you can see all the configurations, all the weights of the machine learning model using which the model was built, the final model out of that 8 to 10 models. Finally, on the bottom, you can see the model evaluation metrics using which the model was evaluated. And if you want to do again certain changes, you can definitely go deeper into that. You will have your code at your disposal. You can do the edits and again reconfigure the model as per the need. So once this model has been deployed, once the summary is with you, you can also monitor the machine learning model through the same platform. We will be seeing the monitoring screen over here. So this is the monitoring screen using which you can see the basically monitor all the machine learning models which has been deployed using UnifyAI, which is running on UnifyAI across the organization level. You just need to select the use case and the machine learning model that you want to monitor. So using the monitoring screen, you can get certain very important aspect, like once the machine learning model is running into the production, over the period of time, we usually observe certain changes into the machine learning model, and the accuracy starts degrading, and that degrading happens because of either change in the data or change in the model. That is something we called as model drift or data drift. So in order to do that, if you do it in a very fragmented way, you usually do lots of RCA and try to look into the code, try to check into the data, and then we get to know. But using UnifyAI monitoring screen, you can just see that out of 44 features, how many features have changed over the period of time. And you can just click on that and can have the overall understanding why and when those drift has actually happened. And you can do those changes in order to make sure that the machine learning model is working fine again the way it was working earlier, and it is yielding the result. Along with that, you can also see the operational metrics of this machine learning model through the monitoring screen. Like for example, the latency of the APIs, if there were any 400 errors or 500 errors, those kind of stuff, you'll be able to see. Shivam, if you can scroll a little bit, please. Yeah, the errors like 400s, 500. So we have just deployed the model, so we don't have any errors right now. But while running into the production, if you are concurrently using these APIs for integrated with different applications, sometimes it may happen that the APIs are not performing good. And as a data scientist, you should be aware that if you had any issues with your API which has been integrated, so you can directly monitor from here. You can also monitor the rate of latency through this graph, like if there are any latency that might be happening over the period of time. So this is the monitoring screen. Once the machine learning model has been created with the help of AutoML capability, it is deployed. You saw the monitoring screen. We will quickly see how we can get the inferences through the same. So this is the inference dashboard where you select the machine learning model and you select the use case for which you want to get the inference. So before that, we will quickly have a look on the data that has been used for the inference.
Because actually, the challenge is the file is not on the system. I will actually show it directly on the
Database. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So the same file which I was talking about is already being uploaded into database. So we will have a look into that file from there. Correct. So this data is basically the test data that is basically a fresh data that the model has not seen. Like usually when we get a data, we train a machine learning model on a subset of that. Like let's say we have like 1,000 rows. On 800 rows, we usually train the machine learning model. And this is the rest of that 200 data, or that 20% of the data which is kept as a fresh data, on which the performance of the machine learning model is evaluated. So what we will do, we will take this data and we will feed it to the machine learning model to get the predictions on that. So we will just have a look on that particular data. So this data, just to give you the glimpse while the time Shivam is opening, it has like 44 different features or the attributes using which the machine learning model will be able to predict the outcome. Yeah, and as Sandeep was mentioning, like we have 20 million rows. So out of 20 million rows, we are able to basically take the subset of the data on which the machine learning model was performed, and using the same subset, now we are going to test it. Okay, that's great. Yeah, that is the data. So basically, these are the features using which, the machine learning model was basically trained, and we will be uploading this data on UnifyAI platform, through which it can be given to the machine learning model for getting the predictions. Now, there is one more point. Only for this demo purpose, we are uploading the data, or we will all, like usually in the real world scenario, when we are building this machine learning model for the enterprises, the data would be directly coming from the databases. So here you're just selecting the use case name, then you select the model name, and then you upload this data, and then the inference would be ready, and we will be able to see the predictions that has been given by the machine learning model. So the moment you click on the infer, it is able to understand that within the model repository, it will be able to go that particular machine learning model. It will be able to take this data, hit to that machine learning model in order to get the inferences from that particular machine learning model. The machine learning model is working in the background. It is able to give the inferences, and finally the inferences will be embedded in that data sheet and will be ready for the pursuit. Yes, so for this entity ID 2940138, we saw the results over here, and we will be also be able to upload this data and get the results for the chunk of different entities IDs all together through our batch inferencing. Yeah, the same thing as I was mentioning, either you can upload the data, or you can also just get the data from your databases, which is already integrated. It is very easy to get the do the inferences of it, just integrate the data and get the inferences. So now the previous result, what we got, what was basically the inference for one member ID, whether for a given entity ID or the user ID, application ID, whether a person is going to be an NPA or non-NPA. Here we are seeing the same results on the chunk of data that we have uploaded, and the same processing will be happening for this particular chunk, like understanding this data, feeding it to the machine learning model based on all the historical learning what it has done. It will be able to apply those results. It will be able to predict for those particular number of features which we have freshly uploaded and get it. Now we are able to download this data, or else once it has been integrated with the data sources, the results will be automatically populated within a database, so it can be further consumed. So for the same number of features, if we see at the end, the predictions have been given by the machine learning model that for a particular entity ID, there is a 95% chance that it is going to be a non-NPA. And for the second entity, there is 87% chance that it is going to be a non-NPA. Now, the threshold can be decided by the bank, or it may be depending upon the use case to use case. It can be kept as per the business requirement. So this is the predictions what we have got at the end. Yes, now we can come back to the same threshold, and we will also very quickly show you the data lineage part that gives you the confidence that what are the different changes that has been done on the data over the period of time since the data has entered UnifyAI platform. What are the different transformations that has been done from the explainability point of view, from the data governance point of view? It is very much important to understand the moment the data is hitting UnifyAI till the time you are getting the predictions out of UnifyAI, what are the different transformation that has been done in order to get the final output what we have got. So you can see that the first time when the data came from the data sources, it hit the first table, which is data feature table, which is our feature store. Then we are getting into our feature stats view. Then we are doing certain changes at the modeling level. And finally, we are getting the inferences out of that. So this is how, like, till the time we are talking, we are able to generate the end-to-end machine learning model through our UnifyAI platform, because the entire process was, as Sandeep mentioned, for the classical approach of extracting the data, creating the features, building those machine learning models, deploying those machine learning model, and finally monitoring has been integrated through our UnifyAI platform. And that can be done by the data scientist. Here, what we saw as an example was the outcome of the auto AI capability of our UnifyAI platform, where you just uploaded the data, provided certain number of parameters on which you want to build the machine learning model. And the same process, what I just mentioned, was done end to end with the capability of auto AI. So I will also be able to show you one more capability, as Sandeep mentioned about the Gen AI part, what exactly we are building. So GenAI capability, and now we have one SSA GPT, which is our self-service analytics GPT, which is for the business users for doing some ad hoc analytics or some real-time analytics by just uploading the data. So in any domain, the business user have the understanding of the domain, they have the understanding of the data. If they want to get certain inferences out of data very much real time, they can just upload the data and start interacting with the platform by asking questions, and it will be able to get the results for the same. And in the coming time, by the end of this month, we will be also rolling out one more capability on our Gen AI card, which is Unify AI GPT. That is an integrated GPT, integrated LLM and Gen AI supported journey of our auto AI and the classical machine learning model building approach, where the data scientist will be able to do all the fine tuning and all the optimization on the machine learning model provided by UnifyAI by just interacting with the platform instead of doing the changes by coding by themselves. Okay, so now we'll see one quick example on SSA GPT over here. So this is how the login screen of SSA GPT looks like. It is integrated within UnifyAI. So if you have the single sign on, you won't have to do the login once again. It will be done along with that. But in your organization, like let's say like there might be different multiple business users, everybody will be having their own personal login. So they will be able to just put their username ID and the password, and the login will be done accordingly. And just to add one more point, here we'll be taking an example of very famous data set, which is churn data, which is already available on Kaggle and various other open source platform, which is very much popular amongst the data scientists. And this data set is about understanding a person is going to churn or is not going to churn from a telecom company. And these are all the features what you're seeing on the screen, basis on which the decision would be taken. So we are not building any machine learning model over here. We are doing some exploratory data analysis. We will be just uploading it and asking some questions. And the SSA GPT is smart enough to understand the context and the intent of the question asked by the business user, do all those transformations and the churning, apply all those things on the data and get the results in the format the user wants. So let's see one of the example. First, we will upload the data, and then we'll be seeing like getting the distribution of number of payment mode where the individual actually got churned. Yeah, individuals got churned as well as like also let's get some visuals around that. Shivam got churned. Yeah. So if you see this query is not very much straightforward. You are giving it to SSA GPT that involves like 3 different features: transformations, some kind of sorting, manipulations, and even filtering as well across all those 3 features, and then creating certain visualization. Now, in order to do that, whether you're working on Excel or any programming IDE through Python or R, you will have to ingest that data, do those changes, create those visualizations in order to get the results. Here, as a business user, you know that you want this outcome. You're just uploading the data and asking the question, and the result will be in front of you. So as we are rolling it out, it will be available by the month end, and we are continuously doing the development in the back end. Also, we are trying to optimize it so the results can be very much quicker, and the integration with our auto AI capability and even the auto ML capability, where the data scientists will be able to just ask the question, and the visualizations and the hyperparameter tuning and the optimizations will be performed on top of that. Here, the moment you upload the data, you ask the question, it is not just generating the results, it is also telling you the process which is happening in the backend from the explainability point of view. If you are a business user, you are asking some questions, you are getting some complex visuals, but you should be in a position to explain those visuals as well. So that has also been taken care by the SSA GPT, where it is able to explain you. Here on the screen, you can see that the distribution of the payment methods that has been created among the churn users based on the payment method, whether the payment method is electronic check, whether it is mail check, whether it is bank transfer, or whether it is credit card. So, and you are also getting the respective numbers for that as well. Like for electronic check, we have like thousands plus customer, which is the like very much popular, we can see. For credit card, we have 232, for the bank transfer 258, and for the mail check, we have 308. So the bottom line or the outcome what we can get from this inference is that the people who are making use of electronic checks are actually getting churned a lot. Yes, this is just a glimpse of UnifyAI SSA GPT that we wanted to give, and the other one, UnifyAI GPT, will be available by the month end. Well, that's it. Thank you so much from my side, and we have completed this demo. I will hand it over to my colleague Sandeep to take it from here. Over to you, Sandeep. Sandeep, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pritesh. So one thing very important to note over here is that the GenAI capability is a layered feature on UnifyAI platform. So it would be absolutely as per the choice of the enterprise customers, because we know that with the GenAI integration, there will be impact on the resources in terms of infra what they'll be using. But this GenAI capability is will be adding a lot of value in terms of this entire AI cycle for building AI ML use cases, wherein you have SSA GPT for business users. So irrespective whether you are hosting a use case on UnifyAI or not, your business users will able to pull out the inferences or analytics in terms of the data what they might be having. It could be financial data, it could be any organizational data. And very important point over here is that the data is not leaving out the premises. It is absolutely on top of UnifyAI. Whether you deploy UnifyAI on cloud, private cloud, on-prem, it is absolutely on UnifyAI. So no point in time your data is leaving out your premises or UnifyAI platform. And all these LLMs integrations which are there are actually as good as local for you. Second very important point here over here is the integration of UnifyAI GPT. This enables your data scientist and your AI team in terms of not accelerating, but adding Gen AI capability for two classical approach, wherein through prompt engineering, they can do copilot code optimization, and which will be generating the code at the back end and giving them the results. So couple of things which I would like to emphasize at the closure is one, the UnifyAI actually brings that classical approach in a platform form where enterprises gets in continuous integration, continuous development, and continuous deployment capability at the platform level, and a complete feedback loop from the inferences to train and retrain the models. Second, the auto AI capability is an accelerator on top of classical approach. So we never say that you leverage auto AI and directly go into the production. Auto AI accelerates your journey to 50 to 60%, and it provides you EDA report. It provides you the entire Jupyter notebook, which any data scientist, if we sit, we have to do all the coding. So auto AI is a capability for acceleration on top of classical approach, and Gen AI is a layered feature which actually changes entire dynamics of your platform, and it helps you through prompt engineering to optimize this journey or to make it much more, fine tune this journey of building AI ML use cases. And second, empowering the business user. So we can, go ahead and say that the journey of taking AI ML use cases in production in 6 to 7 months or 5 to 6 months can be reduced to a couple of weeks with UnifyAI platform. And this is where we would be very happy if you want more details, or if you want to schedule demo for your organization, or if you want to discuss any pilot use cases with us, please do write us at contact@dsw datasciencewizards.ai. And also, next month in January, we are planning to announce a workshop where you can hands-on experience developing your own use cases, probably prototype use cases, leveraging UnifyAI platform. That will give an exposure and experience to, feel the platform and how you can develop on top of the platform. So keep watching this space, and be in touch with the Data Science Wizards, and we'll be announcing this in January. With this, thank you very much, everyone, for your time and patience, and allowing us to share the capability of our platform. Thank you very much. And with this, DSW team logs off. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.